Okay, what's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So, you know what's insulting? Do you know what's insulting? When they put a black man in a powerful position, not because he is competent, but because he is loyal, but because he is easy to control, but because he is good for optics. Today we're talking Roger Alexander, Trinidad's fairly new Minister of Homeland Security. A man who once said, "We build walls around our homes to stop crime."
One of the policies that we are stressing in terms of crime are gated, protected community. Walls, gates, cameras, and patrols. You know that the upper class persons already have gates and walls. Yes, they do. But we want to bring that to every section of the community, depending on your design. So we're trying to bring that type of development to every community in Trinidad and Tobago that is so desired now to kind of enforce the safety and security for all citizens. How are we going to achieve this? We intend to put forward laws and policies to help us to achieve this goal, where we can implement measures in communities that will assist all citizens. It's about smarter, better safety and security for all citizens.
Now, I want you to let that sink in for a second. We build walls around our homes to stop crime. And now, he is the one responsible for national security. See, this isn't just laughable. It's, quite frankly, dangerous. So, Roger's been trending in the news again recently because Alexander was ridiculed in Parliament by Marvin Gonzalez, who referred to Roger as Duncy. He referred to him as Duncy for struggling to read a speech without stumbling. Gonzalez went further, saying it was an embarrassment to the legacy of Dr. Eric Williams, the father of our nation. Harsh, maybe. Unfair. See, that depends on how you define leadership. See, by the way, Alexander's response, he said, dunceness is calling early elections and losing, which ironically was a clever comeback, I'd suggest. But in my opinion, it misses the point. See, this isn't just about who can clap back the hardest or who's got the best bars or the best comebacks. This is about competence. This is about whether the person in charge of Homeland Security can lead, whether they can communicate and think strategically in a country drowning in crime. I do not need to remind you, we ended the last year with a record high murder rate. So let's be honest. Roger Alexander wasn't chosen for his brilliance, respectfully. I think we all know this if we pay attention to the news. He was chosen because he's black, he's loyal, he's pliable, and in my opinion, that's not representation, that is tokenism. That is tokenism. It's the same thing Donald Trump did in the US with a gentleman called Herschel Walker. They picked a man who could barely form a coherent sentence. They dressed him up as black leadership and shoved him in front of the cameras. You're telling me out of the thousands of brilliant black men and women in Trinidad and Tobago, this is who we put in charge of national security? Is that what you're telling me? Trinidad and Tobago, we are currently in a crime crisis. Murders, guns, gangs, fear. And this is the time they choose to hand over to one of the most critical ministries to someone who isn't even confident reading a speech in Parliament. So let's be very clear here. Appointing someone based on race or loyalty alone is a betrayal of the very people you claim to represent. But this is the game politicians play. This is the game of politricks. Put a black face in power so they can say, see, we are inclusive. Meanwhile, that same face is being used as a puppet for decisions made behind closed doors. It's exploitation dressed up as representation. And too many of us are falling for it. This is why we're here. This is why this network exists, to call the nonsense out. So Marvin Gonzalez went on to say, Dr. Eric Williams didn't die for this. And for once, he might be right. Dr. Williams was a scholar, a visionary, a man who believed in education, a man who believed in competence, and of course, a man who believed in national pride. This nonsense we're seeing today, this isn't legacy. This is more akin to pageantry. Dr. Williams, in my humble opinion, would be disgusted by how our leaders now insult black intelligence. We insult black intelligence by parading tokens instead of building institutions that uplifts real leadership. I'd end by saying this. I want to be very clear. This is not about personal attacks. This is about standards. This is about accountability. And this is about respect for black people in this country. Don't tell us you care about black empowerment, then give us mediocrity dressed up in melanin. We deserve leaders who earn the position they have through work, through sacrifice, through brilliance, through skills, not through blind party loyalty. And to the next generation, if you're watching this video, I hope you are, to the next generation, if you're watching, please never accept being used. Never accept being used. Don't accept the low bar they set you. You are brilliant. Rise above it. Aim higher than politicians that insults your intelligence. Representation without qualification is just exploitation. Representation without qualification is just exploitation. And Trinidad and Tobago will pay the price for it if we continue. And that's my take. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next video. For now, much love, God bless, take care, peace.